Wow. My friends, tonight, yeah, I was not expecting to be recording this late. My missus is asleep, so I can't talk too loud as I'm recording, but we have breaking news. Mason Mount has agreed personal terms with Man United, and we are willing to negotiate with United to find a fee over the transfer of Mason Mount. There's a lot to unpack here, especially this late too. Things have escalated very, very fast, like at a stupid rapid pace. And I'm thinking to myself, is it a bit too fast? Like, this willing to show our hands to Man United, a direct rival, is not making too much sense to me. But with this video today, I want to go through all the reports in the news first. I want to discuss why we're selling him. I want to discuss the boards, if they're making the right decision, and give my thoughts at the end. So yeah, everyone share your thoughts and opinions. How are you feeling about this news? And let's dive straight into things now. Tonight's story was broken by The Telegraph. Mount's agreed personal terms with Man United, and this comes on the same day that it's also confirmed that Man City are holding concrete talks for Mateo Kovacic, and right now I'm seeing Jorginho at Arsenal, I'm seeing Cover at City, I'm seeing Mount at Man United, and I'm thinking to myself, all these guys are improving the unholy trinity around us, and I'm thinking to myself, is this a serious play? Why are we not forcing these guys to find moves abroad? There's tons of international interest in them, and why are we so hasty and quick to make these sales right now? Why are we not taking our time for our star guys to try and earn a bit more money as the weeks go on? Naturally, Ten Hag is the main reason why Man United are pushing hard for Mason Mount. I know I say this quite a lot of times, but when Ten Hag was at Ajax, he tried to bring Mason Mount to Ajax, and he really wants to work with the players. So Ten Hag sees Mount as one of two key signings Man United are hoping to make to improve the squad for next season. That's Mount and that's Harry Kane alongside them. Both players have 1 year left in their deals, and this is the best opportunity to sign both. Now, reports state that personal terms were agreed upon quite fast. Things really accelerated after our 4-1 defeat against Man United, and right now, in terms of negotiation and fees, we have an 85 million valuation on Mason Mount, and currently there's a 30 million valuation difference. Man United only want to pay 55 million, but if I was to take a very quick guess, maybe between the range of 65 million to 75 million, with tons of performance related clauses and silverware clauses, all that type of good stuff. And that right there is all the news we have currently surrounding this story. So I want to discuss things in more detail because there's a ton of things to unpack here, and I'm thinking to myself straight, why are we selling him? Now, one thing we all know is that when players are in the final year of their deals, this board isn't going to play. If you haven't agreed to sign an extension before then, when you get to your final year, we're going to sell you and we'll reinvest that money. And as I said, it really re-emphasizes the fact that we must sell players to sign new players. Has Pochettino really had any time at all to even have proper discussions with Mount about his ideas and his willingness for him to remain here? I don't even think that's the case. And now it takes me back to that recent story we discussed about the real truth behind Mason Mount's contract situation, with the boards promising him deals and then taking those contracts away from him, only to give him a new deal that offers him a 1 year extension. I think that doesn't show a great sign of respect. I'm starting to feel like the boards are moving a little bit too stringently at times. In my opinion, I don't think Mount is getting too big for his boots, because he feels like he should be on parity with guys like Ben, guys like Reece James. I feel like for all the things he's done for us, the key moments over the years, the big games. And I have to say this, for a guy that made a Champions League final assist to help us win the trophy, the amount of disrespect he gets, I think, is a bit mad. And I kind of feel like we're the only fan base that would kind of do something like that. So going back to the article, it does kind of feel like maybe we're getting some insight behind the scenes to maybe give Mount a PR boost, but also to show that, he isn't necessarily the villain in this story. It's not like he's not willing to find terms, that he's not willing to negotiate to make things happen. He just hasn't been given the right deals or the right terms to really kickstart productive negotiations. So I can understand that if you feel like your worth is not being valued. And maybe I'm getting a bit too negative right now, but I've said this before. I'm fearful now for guys like Reece James. I know that he's been flying with Real Madrid. Real Madrid have been casting their eyes on him for a long time. You know, they're a club where if they spot you from time back, they'll pursue you eventually and they'll come back for you. Like, is there too much change at this football club happening too quickly? Like, what's the dressing room impact going to be? I mean, we know that when Jorginho left, a lot of players were unhappy because Jorginho was like the life and blood of the squad. With more guys going who have that type of influence, it'll be like a brand new club basically. But I kind of feel like the boards, man, I feel like it's been a bit of a PR mess. It's been a bit unnecessary. Like, I can't imagine the optics around a star player, a homegrown player at that, a guy that's been here since he's 6 years old, that a large part of the fan base actually like, for him to leave us to go to a direct rival. That is a massive blunder for your first year as new owners. Yeah, that's not a good one for me, man. And the fact that he is not going down a level, he's going to direct rivals around us, like, it speaks volumes. And it's taking my mind back to the summer window last year. Like, are we paying the price? Like, are these the ramifications of investing poorly last summer? Because a lot of these guys that we offer contracts to, they are far above the value that these players have brought to us last season. A ridiculous amount of money that was quickly forked out just like that. And maybe I'm still feeling quite cynical, but if we kept Joao Felix, you'd imagine that Felix is earning a ton more money than Mason Mount's demands. Things aren't looking great right now, but is all hope necessarily over? Now, we discussed the story today around Ugarte and personal terms. Personal terms being quite a floozy word. Just agreeing personal terms doesn't mean anything. Personal terms are agreed all the time. A lot of times, deals still don't go through. So right now, this would be the time for our board to react. I'm going to be curious to see the reaction in the media over the next week. I think it would be quite emotional and quite easy to be like, the board know nothing, what are they doing? I think that they've shown that they're quite savvy. I think that their strategies, their plans, their willingness to hire the right experts to take over certain parts of the club shows that they understand how to run a sports team. So I'm not going to discredit them over this type of news, especially when nothing is fully concrete at this point in time. And let's not forget the incredible business to sign guys like Enzo Fernandez. In the future, we'll look back and we'll be like, wow, thank God that Enzo was signed. So my thing is, they're going to know it's not that wise strengthening rivals. Like, this wouldn't be a negotiation tactic, right? To try and put pressure on the board to come back with an improved offer, an improved contract. You know, with Pochettino's influence behind the scenes too, could this force Pochettino to react and be like, Mount, listen, I can't let you go. You're key to my plans. Here's my vision for you. Like, they haven't had those proper tactical talks yet. And let's not forget one crucial detail. Our valuation is 85 million. United's is 55 million. A 30 million valuation difference is massive. And have we shown that we're willing to drop our demands to sell a player of that standards? Nothing's confirmed that right now. So let's give a bit of patience first. Let's see how this story progresses. There's still a lot of works behind the scenes, and I don't think that you can negotiate a 30 million valuation difference that quickly in the space of 1 week. Yeah, United's first bid might come in. That might start forcing reactions and for people to start working and making things happen. Could that 85 million be a deterrent in a way? You know, place the valuation really high, knowing the fact that no club can match that for a player that has 1 year left in his deal. Unless United come in instantly with an 85 million offer, there's still tons of time for things to still become different. So it's not necessarily over, but it does paint a pretty grim and realistic picture now that, yes, this is a moment where we could lose Mason Mount. I mean, let's talk about Mason Mount at Man United. For me, yeah, you would have to be one of the most like committed Mason Mount haters to honestly tell yourself that this guy isn't going to improve or get better at Man United. I mean, Ten Hag is personally vouching for him and pushing for him. And we could imagine already how Ten Hag and Jurgen Klopp had planned to use Mason Mount. Like, what's this saying about Ten Hag's confidence that he wants to quickly secure him and beat all the rivals to Mason Mount's signature right now? I mean, come on, you're Casemiro DM behind, Bruno down that right hand side, Mount being the engine down the left hand side, linking up with like what Rashford or Garnacho. Luke Shaw is one of the top left backs in the country. I mean, you can instantly see the vision there. And under Ten Hag, Like, he's always really valued number 8s, attacking mids, midfield players that can push forward. They've had great success in the systems, and he hasn't had that option yet for Man United. He's tried with Eriksen, he's tried with Sabitzer, Fred. They don't have that same profile that he's looking for and that he actually needs in a Mason Mount. 24 years old, tons of Prem experience, international caps, Champions League win. This is a guy who hasn't even peaked yet, 24 years old, playing in a system for the next year or two. That can have dramatic effects if Mount is playing his best role, influencing the play from deeper in an 8 position. Like, I kind of feel like people that have never really seen the player from time back kind of take Mount at face value. Oh, he only just makes runs. He's only like about energy. He's only about, head down and doing the hard work and gritty. Like, this guy helps your teams get better, man. Like, this is a guy that is very complete in most facets of his game, from hold up, playing forward, between the lines, his movement, the positions he finds to help his teams get forward. Like, he's constantly probing and constantly moving. And I think when he finds his home in his true position, deeper as an 8, things are going to be very different. And it goes back to like how we constantly kind of have this history of undervaluing some of the talents we have. Some of the prime famous names, Nathan Ake, one of the best defenders in Europe this season. You're looking at Lukaku, one of the best strikers in Europe. De Bruyne, the most obvious one. And even Mohamed Salah. I was recently listening to the Filthy Fellas podcast that featured Micah Richards. And Richards was talking about his time at Fiorentina. And he spoke about playing and training with Mohamed Salah. And he said that as a professional player that's played with, tons of great guys like David Silva, Yaya Toure, Aguero, etc. He saw Salah and he said, yeah, Salah is clear. Salah is clear and he's going right to the top. Like, how has everyone seen the talent that we have, yet we can't see it ourselves? Like, I'm not actually understanding that. And it's this repeated, non-stop, constant history. And it does seem like Mason Mount could be, is victim even the right words? Because most of these guys end up having success. And it's like, if they remain here, would De Bruyne be the player he is now? Would Salah be the player he is now? Would Lukaku be the guy he is right now? I mean, he came back last season and we completely misused his profile. So probably no. There's a player of big promise that is constantly available, has great stamina, and a guy like Ten Hag in his system is going to know how to use Mason Mount. So yeah, my friends, I'm going to wrap things up now and kind of keep things moving. I wonder what the future would mean. Are we going to invest big in the market? Like, is Casado enough? Because it kind of feels like, could we even dip into signing 3 mids? Reports suggesting Valverde is an option, and I'll discuss the Valverde story in tomorrow's video, so stay tuned for that, yeah? But is this also an opportunity for guys like Chukwuemeka, who's having a great under-20 World Cup, or Lewis Hall, who, even though he's excelling playing as a left-back and wing-back, he is an 8 at heart. He is a midfield player, and I think we can kind of see that when he's playing on the left-hand side. Could that be an opportunity for these guys to fill the mantle left by the senior common grads? Time will tell. Yeah, for me, obviously, you guys know, I'm a fan of the player. I've watched this kid since he was playing in the academy. I've seen him play live as well too. I've seen his rise, and it's been a very validating feeling to watch a guy from very young, knowing the fact that, yes, I know I see you in our first team one day, and I saw him lift the Champions League. So that's definitely like a fan moment I'm not going to forget. But at the same time, even though I am going to be very, very upset, the club does move on, and, we are still going to survive. Some people might not be bothered by this news, and that's okay. Like, I don't feel like if you don't maybe like value the player, or he's not your favorite one, that's saying anything about you. Like, I can understand that. I guess Mount's departure only means one thing, that, this really is going to be Enzo Fernandez's time. I think Enzo will be the one that's going to be like the leader, the key guy in our team, and the key guy in our midfields. And I guess with Mount going, technically there is that possibility for Enzo Fernandez to play a lot further up, to play a lot more box to box, because Enzo is like a box to box mid at heart. If you want him to play his best football, if you want to see him get double digits for goals and assists and influence the play and create from higher up the field, that's what Enzo can bring. And you're thinking about the midfield players we're trying to sign, like Ugarte. Could Casado come? Is Kante going to remain? We've got some excellent youth talent performing incredibly well in the Under-20 World Cup. I mean, Casade, leading Italy into the final now after beating England 2-1, scoring the penalty. I mean, what an incredible penalty he scored as well too. You got Andre Santos who's doing his thing there. Guys like Lewis Hall, and in the future, Kendry Paez will be coming to play for us. Like, we are fully prepared to deal with any departure right now, and we have safeguarded ourselves by signing some incredible and hopefully, fingers crossed, world-class potential talents in the making, yeah? So it's not all doom and gloom, and there's opportunities for guys now to win their place and show Pochettino, listen, I am your guy you can rely upon. I am ready to fill this role, and I am ready to lead and push on now. So my friends, with that note, that is the latest news surrounding Mason Mount. Please share your thoughts and opinions. I know it's going to be very diverse. I'm looking forward to reading how everyone's feeling, all the different perspectives, and where your head's at right now. So please share them, let us all know. And my friends, with that note, I'm Nini FC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.